The political economy of trade policy. Good afternoon, classmates. My name is Roberto F. Convencido Jr. together with John Ray Bimadi, and we are the one to discuss the topic political economy of trade policy. Learning objectives. Understand the meaning of political economy of trade policy. Learn why politics and economy cannot be separated. Know how conflicts occurs in international trade, and learn why businesses needs a healthy environment to improve economy. Political economy of trade policy. Its purpose is to provide students with an understanding of international trade, economics, rules, politics, and institutions, and the major policy issues and challenges facing the global trading system. As the world connects with each other through technology and direct connections like traveling, there is law and policies that is needed to be followed in order to have a smooth transactions. Likewise, there are laws and policies that are being implemented in business transactions across other countries, and the transaction is importation and exportation. Importation and exportation. Exporting is defined as the sale of products and services in foreign countries that are sourced or made in the home country. Importing is the flip side of exporting. Importing refers to buying goods and services from foreign sources and bringing them back into the home country. And exports and imports are important because together they make up a country's balance of trade, which can impact an economy's overall health. In a healthy economy, both imports and exports see continual growth. This usually represents a sustainable and a strong economy. In order to maintain a healthy economy, there must be a good transaction from the importer and exporter. And because of that, laws are made by the government to manage imports and exports. Foreign trade law. Foreign trade law comprises all legal provisions of a country that affect foreign trade. This relates both to the movement of goods and to the movement of services, capital, and payments. This is a sample of law that has been implemented by the government in order to maintain a legal flow of transactions between countries. Relationship between politics and economy. There is a correlation between effective management of the economy and political popularity and power. For this reason, it is in a government's best interest to adjust its spending through monetary and fiscal policy to keep their economy buoyant. In every community, there are producers and consumers. Each one of them are looking forward to produce less but acquire more. It is a common want of anyone, regardless whether consumer or producers. That's why they both want a free trade without tax or tariffs. What is free trade? It is a policy by which a government does not discriminate against imports or interfere with exports by applying tariffs to imports or subsidies to exports. This scenario is common to inside of the country transactions. A simple exchange of goods transactions is an example of free trade, for both parties believes that they both achieves their goals. However, international trade is a whole different topic.
So good day everyone. So my name is John Ray Bimadi, the next presenter. So the next slide is all about the significance of politics and economy. Politics and the economy are deeply interconnected, and the decision made by political leaders and policymakers can have significant impacts on economic activity and outcomes. So here are the few ways in which politics can influence the economy. So The first is government spending. So the government spending plays a significant role in the economy by spending money on various programs and initiatives. So the amount and allocation of government spending can have a direct impact on economic growth, job creation, and overall economic stability. So the next is tax policy. So tax policy is another area where politics can impact the economy. Changes to tax rates or tax policies can influence consumer behavior, business investment, and overall economic activity. So, trade policy. So, trade policy is another area where politics can have a significant impact on the economy. Trade agreements, tariffs, and other trade policies can influence the flow of goods and services between countries, impacting businesses and consumers. So, monetary policy. So finally, politics can also impact monetary policy, which refers to the actions taken by central banks to control the money supply and interest rates. Monetary policy decisions can influence borrowing, the lending, inflation, and overall economic activity. So overall, politics and the economy are intertwined, and policymakers must carefully consider the potential economic impacts of their decisions. So next slide is conflict in international trade can arise in a variety of ways, some the most common being. So tariffs and trade barriers. So when countries impose tariffs or other trade barriers, it can lead to conflicts with other countries that are affected by these measures. So tariffs can make imported goods more expensive and less competitive, which can hurt the exporting countries' economy and lead to retaliation. Disputes over intellectual property. So intellectual property disputes often arise in international trade when one country accuses another of violating patent, copyright, or trademark law. So this can lead to trade restriction, so legal battles, and even the imposition of economic sanctions. Exchange rates. So when the exchange rate between two countries' currencies fluctuates, it can impact the competitiveness of their goods and services in each other's markets. So this can create tension and disputes between countries over the value of their currencies. So political conflicts. So political conflicts between countries can spill over into trade disputes. For example, a country may impose trade sanctions or embargoes on another country as a form of political retaliation. So the next slide is how trade war occurs. So a trade war occurs when countries start imposing tariffs or other trade barriers on each other's imports and exports in an effort to protect their own domestic industries and products. So, the sequence of events that leads to a trade war can vary, but typically, it begins with one country taking actions that are perceived as unfair by its trading partners. So, for example, a country may impose tariffs on imports of particular product from another country to protect its domestic industry from foreign competition. So, subsidize its own domestic producers, making it harder for foreign competitors to compete in its domestic market. So, another example is accuse another country of violating international trade rules and seek to impose penalties or sanctions. So the next example is impose non-tariff barriers such as quotas on imports from a particular country, limiting the amount of goods that can be imported. So the last is manipulate its currency exchange rate to make its exports cheaper and more competitive. So the next slide is United States and China war trade. So the trade relationship between China and the United States has been complex and at times contentious. The two countries have had long-standing economic interdependence. with China being a major exporter of goods to the United States and the United States being a major importer of Chinese goods. So, however, tensions have arisen over issues such as intellectual property debt, market access, and currency manipulation, with the United States accusing China of unfair trade practices. In response, the United States has imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, and China has responded with its own tariffs on US goods. So this trade war between the two countries has had significant economic impacts, with businesses and consumers in both countries feeling the effects. So the US has sought to reduce its reliance on Chinese goods by encouraging domestic productions and diversifying its supply chains, while China has sought to boost its domestic consumption and reduce its dependence on the US market. So, the next slide is about why businesses needs a healthy environment. So, business that operates in a healthy environment can promote its sustainability efforts to attract environmentally conscious customers. So, employee health and productivity. So, a healthy environment is essential for the well-being of employees. Clean air and water, a safe workplace, and access to green space can all contribute to employee health and productivity. So next is regulatory compliance. So many countries have laws and regulations that mandate businesses to operate in an environmentally responsible manner. So a business that operates in a healthy environment is more likely to comply with this regulation and avoid penalties and legal consequences. Long-term viability. So businesses that prioritize environmental sustainability are more likely to be successful in the long term. A healthy environment supports stable and resilient ecosystems, which is essential for economic and social well-being. So the next is effect of a healthy economy. A healthy economy has many positive effects on individuals, businesses, and society as a whole. Here are some of the major effects. So number one is low unemployment. In a healthy economy, the unemployment rate is low because businesses are growing and creating new jobs. This means that people have more opportunities to find work and earn a living. Increased wage. With low unemployment, companies need to offer higher wage and better benefits to attract and retain workers. This means that individuals have more money to spend and can improve their standard of living. Business growth. A healthy economy provides an environment in which businesses can grow and expand. This can lead to increased innovation, new products and services, and improved efficiency in production and delivery. Improved government revenues. When the economy is healthy, the government collects more taxes from individuals and businesses. This can lead to increased funding for important public services such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure. So overall, a healthy economy can have many positive effects on individuals, businesses, and society as a whole. It can lead to increased opportunities, higher wage, and improved standard of living, as well as improved public services and infrastructure. So, additional explanation for political economy of trade policy. So, political economy of trade policy refers to the intersection of politics and economics in the information and implementation of trade policies. So, trade policies are measures taken by governments to regulate the exchange of goods and services between countries. So these policies can have significant economic, social, and political implications, making them a subject of interest for scholars and policy makers. So the political economy of trade policy examines the complex interplay between political actors, interest groups, and economic considerations that shape trade policies. So it recognized that trade policies are not simply a matter of economics, but also reflect the distribution of power and resources within a society. Our summary is the world connects with each other in different ways, but one of the most common interaction between countries is in trading. In each country has the right to impose a policy or rule that may affect the trading system, and the only one who has the authority to implement a policy or rules is the government or people with authorities. Government provides law to ensure the safeness of the trading system so that the politics and economy cannot be separated. Trade war is one of the effects of politics of economy. It can happen to any country. So, next but not the least, healthy environment is essential in order to achieve healthy economy, and harm in environment may cause conflict in trading system. So that's all for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you.